this is going to be a translation and discussion of Pliny's letter 620, chapters 6 and through 8. And so all of this, let's go ahead and begin. Yam, now, by with because of from in on at the first hour of the day in the genitive, and still the day doubtful, and as if languid. It's going to be as though it's kind of a hazy day in the morning, when not quite as at full light, and so forth and so on. And now, with the houses, remember this comes from tego, tegede, texi, tectus, literally the thing having been covered. You turn that fourth principal part into a substantized neuter noun, tectum, tecti, it means a house. And so, with the houses now having been shaken, a perfect passive participle, and lying around, although in an open location, they are obviously not with a building overhanging them. However, in a narrow location, the fear of ruin implied was, as though it would have an erat, if you would like. It was great, and it was certain. In other words, they have this sense of an impending, unavoidable doom. Then, finally, demum, having seemed, or what you can do when you have a perfect passive participle, feel free at times to simply add the est or a form of the verb to be, and to turn it from a perfect passive participle into a verb. It seemed, as in a good idea, to go out from the town. Remember, cato, catere is to go, and often you put the prefixes on it, like pro cato, go forth, ex cato, to go out, and opido is the ablative town. And so they're leaving all the buildings together because it would necessarily not have to be right on top of them, as it is shaking so much that some of the debris from the buildings might hit them. A crowd follows. Sequor, sequi, secutus sum. And atonitum is modifying that neuter crowd, having been astonished or just astonished. And a thing which, quod can mean which, similar to prudence, similar to wisdom, implied they do this, they follow, they do this activity in pavore, in fear. They, the crowd, it prefers a foreign plan, somebody else's idea, to its own. And that crowd presses and impels, strikes the ones going away. This is a present active participle from eo ire that we are then substantizing it. Ingantique agmene, in a large throng, in a large battle line almost, a formation as it were. We, from consistimus, having gone out, gradior gradi gressum. It's where you get the word egress or progress, much in the same way that we added all the prefixes to cato to this deponent verb gradior gradi. So it is a perfect passive looking participle. Having gone out from the houses, we consistimus, we stop, we take up a position. And we suffer, patimor, which is from patior pati, passasum. There we suffer, we endure, we experience many miraculous things. We experience many frightening things. Formidanes are terrifying things. For the vehicles, which this quae is taking vehicula as its antecedent, and thus it is neuter plural, one of the two, either nominative neuter plural or accusative neuter plural, and with our subject being we from eramus, we know that it is the accusative. For the vehicles, which we had ordered to be led forward, to be brought out, although those vehicles on very level ground, very level field, they were being driven, imperfect, passive, into contrary parts. And so therefore, they're just rolling all over the place. And nequidem. Nequidem together means not even. Having been chalked, having been positioned, but we are going to use the word chalked, with stones, with chalks. It's what you do when you chalk the wheel. So this is the verb to chalk, and here we're using the stones as the noun, the chalks themselves, and not even having been chalked with chalk, stones, were they resting in the same footprint, i.e. parking space. And so therefore, they had tried to keep the vehicles from rolling all around, but the ground is shaking and it is such a terrible set of earthquakes and tremors that they can't even prevent it from moving, just kind of like what we did with my truck out in the parking lot. So that's it. Keep studying and good luck. Bye.